Over 30% of Canadian retirees say they regret where they chose to live, and nearly 1 in 4 downsizers admit the move cost more than they expected. So what happens when a retirement dream built on sunshine marketing, gated comfort, and stress-free living starts cracking under real-world pressure? That's exactly the question surrounding the Villages Canada right now. Behind the polished brochures and promises of endless golf games and vibrant social calendars, something feels off. At first glance, everything looks perfect. Neat streets, active neighbors, community events every week. But dig a little deeper and you'll find rising fees, changing demographics, healthcare concerns, and economic pressures quietly building beneath the surface. Some residents are thriving, others are quietly struggling. And developers may be facing challenges they didn't see coming. So is the Villages Canada truly collapsing? Or are we witnessing a bigger shift in how Canadians see retirement itself? The answer might surprise you. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's really happening. Number 1, the retirement dream is changing. For decades, the retirement formula seemed simple. Work hard, pay off your home, sell it at a profit, and move into a peaceful community surrounded by people your own age. That dream worked perfectly for many baby boomers. But here's the problem. Today's retirees are not the same as they were 20 years ago. New research shows that Generation X retirees value flexibility over permanence. They want mobility, travel, part-time work, and proximity to family, not necessarily a gated bubble separated from the outside world. Many are choosing mixed-age urban communities where they can walk to cafes, public transit, and cultural events instead of committing to a single-purpose retirement village. The demand has shifted, but developments like the Villages Canada were built around an older model of retirement, one focused on stability and sameness. There's also a psychological shift happening. Studies on aging show that intergenerational interaction supports cognitive health and emotional well-being. Living exclusively among peers may feel comfortable at first, but over time, some retirees report feeling socially limited. The idea of retirement itself is evolving. It's no longer about slowing down, it's about staying engaged. So when a community is designed around yesterday's expectations, it risks becoming out of sync with tomorrow's retirees. The real question isn't whether people want community. They absolutely do. The question is, do they want this kind of community anymore? If this video made you rethink retirement, but tell us in the comments, would you choose a retirement village or build your own version of freedom? We put serious effort into uncovering the truth behind stories like this. So if you value deep, honest breakdowns, hit subscribe. It's just one click, but it helps us more than you know. Number 2, rising costs are quietly squeezing retirees. Retirement communities are often marketed as simpler living, fewer responsibilities, predictable expenses, and peace of mind. But for many residents, the financial reality is starting to look very different. Across Canada, interest rates have risen sharply in recent years, and that shift has changed everything. Seniors who plan to sell their homes at peak value are now facing cooler housing markets, meaning their expected nest egg may not stretch as far as they thought. At the same time, monthly maintenance fees, property taxes, and utility costs are climbing. Inflation has made everyday essentials, groceries, insurance, energy, noticeably more expensive. For retirees living on fixed pensions or investment income, even small increases can feel overwhelming. Imagine budgeting carefully for a stable retirement, only to watch your predictable monthly costs slowly rise year after year. It creates pressure that marketing brochures rarely mention. There's also the issue of financing. Some buyers entered these communities assuming low borrowing costs would continue. But when interest rates rise, so do mortgage payments for those who didn't buy outright. And unlike younger homeowners, retirees often have limited time to recover from financial missteps. The result? A lifestyle that once felt affordable can start to feel restrictive. Instead of enjoying golf games and community events, some residents are quietly recalculating their budgets. The promise was freedom from stress, but rising costs may be reintroducing it in a different form. And when affordability becomes uncertain, when the entire foundation of a retirement-focused development begins to wobble. Before you scroll away, we genuinely want to hear from you. Do you think retirement communities are still financially worth it today? Drop your honest thoughts below. We spend hours researching and breaking these topics down for you. So if you appreciate real insights. Number 3, healthcare access is becoming a serious concern. When people choose a retirement community, one assumption feels almost automatic. Healthcare will be easily accessible when needed. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Many lifestyle-focused developments are built slightly outside major urban centers, where land is cheaper and space is abundant. That works well for golf courses and quiet streets, but not always for hospitals and specialized medical care. Canada's aging population is growing rapidly, and studies consistently show that healthcare demand increases significantly after age 65. Chronic conditions, mobility challenges, and emergency needs become more common. At the same time, Canada is already facing longer wait times and staffing shortages in many provinces. When you combine rising demand with limited infrastructure, pressure builds fast. Imagine needing regular specialist appointments, but the nearest hospital is 30 or 40 minutes away. Imagine icy winter roads during an emergency. These aren't dramatic hypotheticals. They're real logistical challenges for many retirement-focused communities. There's also the issue of future planning. A 60-year-old retiree may feel perfectly healthy today, but healthcare needs can change quickly over a decade. Retirement communities often emphasize amenities, pools, clubhouses, walking trails, but fewer talk openly about long-term medical accessibility. This creates a hidden vulnerability. A community can thrive socially and financially, but if residents begin questioning healthcare access, confidence starts to erode. And once doubt spreads, it can influence future buyers as well. Or the retirement dream promises peace of mind, but without reliable healthcare nearby, that peace can feel uncertain. We'd really value your perspective. Would healthcare access change your decision about where you retire? Tell us your thoughts below. We put serious research and care into every video. So if you appreciate content that digs deeper, hit subscribe. One click from you helps us keep creating. Number 4, the hidden risk of social isolation. At first glance, retirement villages look like the opposite of loneliness. There are community barbecues, fitness classes, card nights, golf tournaments, a calendar that always seems full. But here's the surprising twist. Research on aging suggests that being surrounded by people doesn't always prevent isolation. In fact, living in an age-segregated environment can sometimes limit the diversity of social interaction that keeps us mentally stimulated. Studies in cognitive health show that intergenerational relationships, interacting with younger people, children, and working adults, can boost emotional well-being and mental sharpness. When a community is primarily made up of people in the same life stage, conversations, routines, and even daily rhythms can become predictable. At first, when that predictability feels comforting, over time, for some residents, it can feel repetitive. There's also a subtle psychological factor. When everyone around you is aging at the same time, health issues and losses become more visible and frequent. That constant reminder of vulnerability can quietly affect mood and outlook. What was designed to be a supportive environment can sometimes amplify anxiety instead. And then there's family distance. Many retirement communities are built away from city centers, meaning grandchildren and relatives may visit less often. Video calls help, but they don't replace physical presence. None of this means every resident feels lonely. Many thrive. But for others, the lifestyle doesn't deliver the vibrant social fulfillment promised in glossy marketing materials. And the risk isn't obvious at first. It builds slowly, quietly. And when the emotional experience doesn't match the expectation, confidence in the community begins to shift. Now we want your honest take. Do you think age-specific communities strengthen connection or limit it? Drop your perspective below. We invest real time and effort into uncovering these insights, so if you value thoughtful breakdowns like this, subscribe to the channel. It's one simple click, but it makes a huge difference for us. Number 5, overdevelopment and the risk of oversupply. In real estate, timing is everything. When demand is strong and headlines are positive, developers move fast. New phases are announced, more homes are built, amenities expand. Everything feels like unstoppable momentum. But history shows us something important. Housing markets move in cycles, not straight lines. Over the past decade, retirement-focused communities across North America experienced a surge in interest. Developers anticipated a massive wave of retirees and began building accordingly. The logic seems solid. Canada's population is aging, so demand should automatically grow. But here's the catch. Demographic growth doesn't always translate into immediate buying power. Economic uncertainty, market downturns, and changing lifestyle preferences can slow that wave down. If too many homes enter the market at once, supply can begin to outpace demand. When that happens, resale values may soften. Longer selling times create hesitation among potential buyers, and when homeowners worry about whether they can resell easily in the future, confidence starts to weaken. It becomes a chain reaction. Slower sales affect developers, price adjustments affect existing homeowners, perception shifts, even rumors of oversupply can influence decision-making. And remember, retirement buyers are often more cautious than younger buyers. They're protecting lifetime savings. If the market feels unstable, many will delay or walk away entirely. The question isn't whether the Villages Canada was built with good intentions. It likely was. The question is whether supply is expanding faster than real sustainable demand. And in real estate, imbalance can quietly create long-term pressure beneath the surface. Let's open this up. Do you think retirement communities are being built too fast, or is demand still strong? Share your thoughts below. We put hours of research into every video to give you clarity without hype. If you appreciate that effort, subscribe. It's just one click, and it truly supports the channel. Number 6, the lifestyle promise doesn't always match reality. The brochures are beautiful, smiling couples riding golf carts at sunset, perfectly trimmed lawns, endless social events. The message is clear: move here, and retirement becomes a permanent vacation. But for some residents, the lived experience doesn't fully match that polished image. Every community, no matter how well designed, has rules, politics, and personality clashes. Homeowners associations can introduce strict guidelines, rising fees, or disputes over community decisions. What was marketed as carefree living can sometimes feel highly regulated. Something as small as landscaping rules, renovation restrictions, or parking limitations can create unexpected tension. There's also the emotional adjustment. Retirement itself is a major life transition, and many people underestimate how long it takes to rebuild routine and identity after leaving full-time work. A new house in a new community doesn't automatically replace purpose. Research on retirement psychology shows that a strong sense of meaning and autonomy is critical for long-term happiness. And that can't be packaged into amenities. Then comes resale reality. Some homeowners discover that selling in a specialized retirement development can be more complex than expected. Buyers are limited to a specific age demographic, which narrows the market. None of this means the lifestyle is a failure. For many, it works beautifully. But when expectations are shaped by marketing rather than practical realities, even small disappointments feel bigger. And when enough residents quietly feel that gap between promise and experience, word spreads. Reputation shifts, and that's when cracks begin to show. Not in the buildings, but in perception. Now it's your turn. Do you believe retirement communities deliver what they promise? Or is the marketing too good to be true? Tell us below. We pour serious effort into researching and crafting videos like this. So if you value honest, balanced insights, subscribe to the channel. One click from you keeps this work going. Number 7, economic uncertainty is shaking retirement confidence. Retirement communities don't exist in isolation. They are deeply connected to the broader economy. And right now, economic uncertainty is creating hesitation among retirees across Canada. Stock markets have become more volatile, inflation has reduced purchasing power, and many seniors are watching their investment portfolios more carefully than ever before. For retirees, this isn't just about numbers on a screen. Their savings represent decades of work. When markets fluctuate, it directly affects how comfortable they feel making big financial decisions, like purchasing a home in a lifestyle-focused development. Research consistently shows that consumer confidence drops during periods of economic instability, and retirees tend to be even more cautious than younger buyers. There's also concern around pensions. While Canada's public pension system provides a foundation, many retirees rely heavily on private investments or employer-sponsored plans. When returns become unpredictable, long-term commitments feel riskier. A retirement community often requires significant upfront capital. In uncertain times, many choose to delay major moves. Inflation adds another layer of stress. Even modest price increases can slowly erode fixed incomes. Groceries, insurance, utilities, they all chip away at monthly budgets. That makes rising community fees feel heavier. The result is a subtle but powerful shift. Hesitation, fewer immediate buyers, more people choosing to wait and see. And in real estate, hesitation alone can slow momentum dramatically. The Village's Canada may not be collapsing overnight, but when economic confidence weakens, the foundation of any retirement-focused development becomes more fragile. We're curious, has economic uncertainty changed how you think about retirement? Share your perspective in the comments. We put real time and research into creating thoughtful content like this, so if you appreciate it, hit subscribe. It's one small click for you, but it means everything for this channel. Number 8, climate and harsh winters are adding pressure. When people think about retirement living, they imagine comfort, morning walks, outdoor activities, easy mobility. But in Canada, climate is a serious factor, and it's becoming more unpredictable every year. Long winters, icy roads, heavy snowfall, and freezing temperatures can turn even the most beautifully planned community into a seasonal challenge. For active retirees, harsh winters limit outdoor social life. Golf courses close, walking trails become slippery. Even short trips to nearby stores or medical facilities can feel risky. Mobility becomes more difficult, especially for those dealing with joint pain or balance issues. What was marketed as an active lifestyle can suddenly shrink indoors for months at a time. There's also the financial impact. Snow removal, road maintenance, heating costs, and winter-related repairs increase operational expenses for large communities. Insurance premiums have also been rising in response to extreme weather events across Canada. Those costs don't disappear. They are often passed down to homeowners through higher fees. Climate change adds another layer of uncertainty. Warmer summers bring heat waves, while winters remain intense in many regions. Infrastructure built decades ago may not be designed for growing climate volatility. Over time, maintenance demands increase. For some retirees, the solution is simple: relocate to warmer provinces or even outside Canada. That creates competition. If retirees have the option of milder climates elsewhere, developments in colder regions face a harder sell. Yet the weather may seem like a background detail, but for retirees prioritizing comfort, it becomes central. And when climate consistently disrupts lifestyle expectations, it quietly shapes long-term demand. Let us know in the comments. Would harsh winters stop you from choosing a retirement community in Canada? We invest serious effort into breaking down these real-world factors for you, so if you value honest, in-depth insights, subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, but it keeps this content coming. Number 9, aging in place is becoming the preferred choice. For years, the assumption was simple. Once you retire, you relocate, you downsize. You move into a purpose-built retirement community. But that assumption is quietly being challenged. Across Canada, more seniors are choosing something different: aging in place. Aging in place means staying in your own home for as long as possible, even as your needs change. And thanks to modern technology, home care services, and renovation solutions, it's becoming more realistic than ever. Smart home systems, stair lifts, walk-in showers, telehealth appointments. These tools allow retirees to maintain independence without relocating. Research on senior preferences consistently shows that most older adults would prefer to remain in familiar surroundings, close to family, neighbors, and community ties. Emotional attachment to a longtime home is powerful. It holds memories, routines, and a sense of identity. Moving away from that stability can feel more disruptive than freeing. There's also a financial factor. Renovating an existing home to make it safer can sometimes cost less than purchasing into a retirement-focused development with ongoing fees. For retirees watching their savings carefully, staying put may feel like the safer option. This shift changes the equation for communities like the Villages Canada. If a growing percentage of retirees decide not to relocate at all, the expected demand for specialized retirement developments naturally shrinks. The retirement dream is evolving. For many, it's no longer about starting fresh somewhere new. It's about staying rooted, comfortable, and connected. And when preferences shift on a national scale, real estate models must adapt or risk falling behind. We'd love to hear from you. Would you move for retirement or stay in the home you know and love? Share your answer below. We put genuine effort into researching and presenting balanced perspectives like this. If you appreciate that work, subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, but it helps us keep creating. Number 10. The next generation of retirees wants freedom. The final and perhaps most important shift is cultural. Retirement used to mean slowing down. Today, it often means reinventing yourself. The next wave of retirees isn't dreaming about routine. They're dreaming about flexibility, travel, side businesses, remote consulting, seasonal living, even part-time entrepreneurship. Many people in their late 50s and early 60s are healthier and more active than previous generations. They don't necessarily see retirement as an endpoint. They see it as a transition. And that mindset doesn't always align with a structured, master-planned community built around predictable routines. There's also a digital shift. Remote work opportunities allow retirees to split time between locations. Once some prefer to spend winters in warmer countries and summers near family, others want the option to relocate closer to grandchildren at a moment's notice. A fixed property and a single-purpose retirement development can feel limiting in a world that now values mobility. Cultural expectations have changed too. Personal growth, new experiences, and continuous learning are priorities for many modern retirees. They want access to universities, urban events, diverse communities, and international travel hubs. The idea of settling permanently into a lifestyle defined by age alone feels restrictive to some. This doesn't mean retirement communities will disappear, but it does mean they must evolve. The Villages Canada may not be collapsing in dramatic fashion, but it may be facing something deeper, a generational mindset shift. And when identity, freedom, and flexibility become the new retirement currency, traditional models are forced to adapt or slowly lose relevance. Now we really want to know, if you retired tomorrow, would you choose stability or total freedom? Tell us your honest answer below. We put serious time and research into crafting videos like this, so if you value thoughtful, in-depth analysis, subscribe to the channel. It's one simple click, but it means everything to us. So, is the Villages Canada truly collapsing? Not exactly. What we're really seeing is pressure. Pressure from changing demographics, rising costs, healthcare concerns, climate realities, and a new definition of retirement itself. None of these factors alone would cause a crisis, but together they create a slow shift that's hard to ignore. Retirement communities like this were built on a powerful idea: security, simplicity, and social connection. For many residents, that promise still holds true, but the world outside those gates has changed faster than anyone expected. Economic uncertainty has made retirees more cautious. Aging in place has become more practical. And the next generation of retirees values flexibility over permanence. When expectations evolve but the model stays the same, tension builds. The word collapse might sound dramatic, but what's really happening is something more complex. It's a recalibration, a test of whether traditional retirement communities can adapt to modern realities. The bigger story isn't just about one development. It's about how Canada, and perhaps all of us, are redefining what retirement means. Is it about slowing down in a carefully designed bubble? Or is it about freedom, mobility, and staying connected to a rapidly changing world? Communities that recognize this shift may thrive. Those that ignore it could struggle. And that brings us to the most important part. What can actually be done?